Hey everyone, welcome back to Play Casket with another episode of Casket Talk with your wonderful hosts, Paraka the Goblin and
Ghost, your co-host.
And this week we're going to talk about all that shiny new stuff that used to be awesome and new is now just weirdly standard, and it's actually not as great as we thought it was.
Episode 63, The Glitter is Gone.
So, we're not talking about fads here. We're talking about stuff that comes out that's really exciting. It's like a new feature, a new way of video, like a new genre how video games do it. And then everyone wants to try to get on that hype train, and now it's just a thing that exists still, and nobody really cares. We realize it's not all that exciting, and it's just still there.
Or if you see it and it's like, damn, this is really, really, really cool. And then, everybody does it, and it's not that cool anymore.
Well, even then, I think when a lot of people do it, it shows how boring it actually is. Because at first, if somebody's really doing something, oh, yeah, that's really cool. But if everyone's doing it, oh, it's not as cool as it. You see the broader breadth of what it can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you get the more scope. And okay, it's not as exciting as I thought it was. A good example of that is genres in video games. Everyone knows Battle Royale is going to still be around forever, right? Mm-hmm. When Fortnite did it and popularized it, granted, there's people like PUBG and stuff like that happened before that. Anybody else who does it, everyone's like, yeah, it's a thing. It's not as great as you think it is. The only reason why Fortnite still gets away with it is because everyone has put so much sunk cost into it. Nobody wants to leave.
Yeah.
And nobody has time for 60 people to play their games. We don't know how many people play their game in small businesses and stuff. So stop that. But that's an example, right? Yeah. It's a difference from that and being a fad. Where a fad is exciting and then it's just dead. It just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Remember this? Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those. Remember when consoles had colors on them? Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore. So, stuff like that. So, let's get all into it. Let's talk about games in general, since we're already kind of using that as an example. What is a game-related, feature that you're just it's not all that exciting now?
Quick time events. They were really... Because I remember playing God of War and seeing my friend fight the Hydra, the boss, and he killed it, and that was the most impressive thing I've ever seen. And then somebody else had it, and then another game had it, and another game had it, and by the end you're just kind of really sick of it all because everybody just kind of steals the concept of quick time events. Right. And I guess it's just it's either you don't get enough of it or you see it all the time and you're just okay, I'm just these are unskippable cutscenes with button prompts.
Yeah, dude, honestly, I see that a lot. I think some of God of War did quick time events nice, and honestly, I think if you sprinkle quick time events in something, and I mean when I'm saying sprinkle, I mean the ability to add a finisher. Uh-huh. That's what I'm saying. Quick time events, it can be satisfying. If you are in a particular position behind a character, and that's when you could finally do the full-on quick time event that makes it cool. Otherwise, you're just killing it. That might work, right? That might, but yeah, no, I could see that. There's a lot of places that kind of bloat gameplay mechanic.
Yeah,
with these 5-minute scenes. They're oh, it's supposed to be a really edgy, hardcore fight. Press A. Oh no, you just knocked him back. How cool! Then press B. Oh, you just knocked back his other fist. You're gonna go ahead and go for the kill. Press Q. It's just stuff like that.
Well, the thing is that it's either poorly implemented or you don't need it at all. It could have just been a cutscene, or it's a 5-minute.
I feel like they try to make it so it seems like it's not a cutscene. You're oh no, you're part of the story still, because they hear people like me bitch about how we're tired of cutscenes because we like to be part of the actual story. No, you are. Press A.
Well, it's cool and all until you're doing that section for 10 minutes, and you mess up.
Ashura's Wrath.
Yeah, and then you mess up and you got to do it all over again.
Ashura's Wrath.
So,
dude, yeah, that's That I can see that. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people use that. Like at first, it like was really cool because a few people did do it. You know.
Yeah.
And then like so you're like, oh, you're getting involved in it, but now everyone does it just a way to kind of still keep their narrative. Like, no, you're gonna listen to my story, damn it. You know, like I totally get that. I definitely get that. One of mine, very similar type of situation is MMOs. Like MMOs still exist, right?
Yeah.
They're still free to play MMOs, and I'm not even talking about the ones that are legacies like World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy. I'm just talking about MMOs just in general, right? They still exist. They come in, they go, you know, they hang out for a bit, and then they're gone again. And there's some that come out like Blade and Soul, and then you just disappear in the ether. But they're still there. Terra and Blade and Soul still exist, by the way.
Well, no, Terra's gone.
Terra's gone?
Terra's gone. There's like a
I swear, I like researched it like a month or so ago.
I think there's a
like
fan
alive.
server up right now, but the official one's dead.
Oh, wow.
So
I wonder, now I'm going to probably say another one, and they're like, no, that one's dead too. No, but there is still some, right?
yeah,
Obviously, it's not that great, because a lot of MMOs, period, and it's almost like a staple to MMOs. It takes a lot of damn time, like a lot of your time.
yeah,
Like it requests that from you because you're supposed to be invested in this game. So I understand where this time goes, and I understand why a lot of people love the classic World of Warcraft and stuff, because it was better. No, you were rewarded for the amount of time you always spent, and most of the people who used to spend it on it was like late high school to early college when you didn't have any other time. You know, you're like, all right, I'm just going to waste time playing MMOs, right? And that's how it worked out.
yeah,
But at the same time, it was during that rise, social media didn't exist, right? Social media
okay.
that never really existed. When you think about it, a lot of your game social aspect, like truly social aspect of gaming, was in an MMO.
yeah,
A lot of multiplayer games that happened, you didn't really talk to a lot of people. You know what I mean? You talk to small groups of people in pockets, in like little instances in your match, and that was it. Mm-hmm. You know? I mean, granted, back then too, you could hang out in a lobby and just keep playing that lobby with those guys.
yeah.
So there was that, but now everything's just random. Like, hey, that was an awesome game. Everybody just leaves.
Yeah.
Okay. You know?
Well, the issue
So
is that like you're also limited on time too, because it's much like D&D, to where you need Phil's not here, we need Phil.
Yeah, you need everybody on board now. But on top of that, like, the social aspect is now resolved with social media. Everyone could just talk about something now,
Yeah.
and just not even play games. Just talk about the game. Just be there. You
Go on
know?
a forum, you're like, hey, we need a healer. Like, bam, somebody comes in.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead, like, there is that, right? And I think that's because, and now for that, MMOs not many MMOs last. Because nobody really wants to hop on at the same time and do some dungeons or anything, because that's too much time when they could argue politics with somebody they don't know, with a big nose and green. I should probably stop being on Twitter.
Well, the thing is that, like, there's also other games that they can invest their time in too, so you can't just get somebody who's been on one for 20 years to jump onto a new one. So
Right, yeah. And there's that sunk cost fallacy. There's a reason why, like, everybody keeps saying, dude, like, World of Warcraft will only kill itself.
yeah,
There's not a single one that's going to be so great that it kills World of Warcraft anymore.
yeah,
It can't. Nobody's going to be able to be willing to start from scratch to dedicate themselves to another MMO to kill World of Warcraft. There just isn't enough momentum. Even if Blizzard made a WoW 2, it will just be like EverQuest 2. EverQuest 2 is still closed.
yeah,
You know? EverQuest 1 is still around, EverQuest 2 is not. Nobody wants to start from scratch again.
yeah,
And some people are like, no, we need it because we need a fresh way because there's too much bloat. Too many people are too invested in the one. And people are like, well, what if they transfer all their stuff over? Then why even have two?
yeah,
You know? Like, your story's still being written the same way. Your story's still going to go the same direction. You're still going to get the same expansions in the same way. Why even try a 2? Why would that even matter? You know, that'd just be stupid. Anyway, this isn't about MMOs. This This is about fads. And MMOs are not fads. Just the features and genres and stuff like that that aren't as exciting anymore now than they used to be, and they're still around. Another one, and I know a lot of people are gonna be like, no, Tekken exists, so checkmate nerds. 3D fighting games. 3D fighting games blew up once the 3D realm came out. Like, people could start doing 3D range of fighting games. Everyone was crazy about it. Everybody was amped up about it. There was Tekken, Virtual Fighter, Soul Calibur. There was like various other ones from Midway before Midway crapped out, right? War Gods and Biofreaks and all that. Like, there's so many random ones, right?
Yeah.
And it was like the whole craze. And then after, I think probably the later PS2 GameCube era, it went back to 2D, and people were like, oh, this is refreshing again. And then just stayed there. Outside Tekken, but Tekken was basically one of the 3D like kings, so they can just be there. You know what I mean? But even 3D didn't work out for Street Fighter. Street Fighter had a 3D fighting game. It sucked. They went back to 2D.
I don't even remember a 3D Street Fighter.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Capcom wants you to continue thinking that way. There was one though. It was bad. It was really bad. But like, it still exists, but nobody wants to play them because there's a lot more like awareness of what you need to do.
Yeah.
Like situational, positional awareness, because even if your character does like you need fighting like style moves that do like arc swings and stuff. That's why Soul Calibur is really good at it, because it allows you to think about like swinging that axe at an angle and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like Tekken, like, your punches are straightforward. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do these roundabout things all the time unless certain characters know those type of moves. And even then, like, you know, with the full 3D realm, there's a lot more positional awareness. Like, what am I going to do? Like, am I going to be all up in his nuts or anything? Like, what's going on? Right? So, not many, like, they make them, but not people just don't like them anymore. And I think that's what I'm seeing is a lot of people just don't like having the fact that there's more depth, perception, awareness that you have to deal with instead of just remembering a few new moves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm right here halfway in the screen, I could just do these moves and I'll have the ultimate combo. You know, like, there's that stuff. But I think 3D fighting just adds a depth that a lot of people cannot grasp.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what's really going on. So,
now for me is another one is turret sections. Turret sections.
Like what games are we talking about here?
So basically any kind of like shooting game where it's like, oh my god, they're coming in, get to the turret.
Okay, those type of things. Like, get into the okay. I was thinking like the hallway for like Star Wars or something like that for Rogue Squadron when you go through the little like alleyway thing in the Death Star.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's what I was thinking around right there. I was way off. Like, I was like, there's not that many games that actually do that.
No, well, cause like there's like a lot of shooting games that do that.
No, I totally like even Time Splitters. One of my favorite games actually even have turret section. Like, I think it's a way to kind of break up the monotony of the gameplay loop.
Yeah,
just kind of adds something refreshing. But everyone does it.
Yeah.
I think everyone does it, and that's why it kind of
doesn't wow you anymore. Because like you hold down,
almost expect it. It's kind of like you get upset when it's not there, even though you don't really like it. It's like the treasure behind the waterfall. You go behind the waterfall. Great, now I'm wet, but there was no treasure there. This is bullshit. 0 out of 10 game.
Well, because like it sucks when you're really, really forced to do it. Like, get to the turret. Like, no, I could just fire them from this position where I'm safe. And like, get to the turret. So you get in the turret, and then you're playing for like 3 minutes, and then you die, and then you're like, oh my god, I don't want to use this damn thing. So like, no, I'm safe. I'm safe right over here, and
I can move.
Yeah,
that's another one. That's why I hate turrets, dude. I can move.
And then you're like,
ow! I should probably go over there now.
And then you beat it, and you're like, you got like a sliver of health left. Yeah. So it's just like, it's not as impressive because basically you just hold it down until everything's dead, or it overheats so quickly. You're just like, well, I can't do anything right now.
The heating mechanic is so ridiculous. Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. That's bullshit. Well, even on top of that, like, it's funny because it, like, some of them will have its own health bar. Like, okay, if the turret dies, I can still shoot them, right? No, if the turret dies, you die too. Like, but my health is full. Like even like after like you're freaking out the so you finally leave that like sliver of health, you're back to full. Like what? This is bullshit. Like I could have just walked away from this thing. This is horseshit.
And then you never see that turret ever again because it's too powerful.
Yeah, it's too powerful. You don't get to take it with you.
So it's like it doesn't wow you as much as it used to anymore. I guess.
No, I totally get that. Like now you see it more often than not.
Yeah.
Like it's just one of those like you kind of expect it. Kind of like action games where they have that platformer gamers when they have those minecart levels.
Yeah.
Hell, it became so self-aware about the minecart levels that they like Yooka-Laylee and I think Super Lucky's Tale both make jokes about it. Like that's how often it was happening, you know? Like yeah, I can totally see that. But outside video games, what about like film and TV related? Do you remember anything like that? That was just like an exciting thing that you used to watch when you're a kid or a younger adult ghost thing, and you're like, man, that was actually kind of exciting. I like this series because it does something different. Now they all do that thing, and it's not as exciting anymore, and you start realizing the flaws in the whole thing.
Femme fatale. I fucking hate them so much.
Dude.
Because like it was really cool. Like the first time you see it, you're like, whoa, women could be cool too. And then like now you see modern writing, you're just like, you know what they're gonna do. They're always they always have that scowling face that they all do, and then
with that gritting teeth too.
Yeah. And then the guy would be like, oh
Blood
hey,
rain.
Yeah, the guy would be like, oh hello, nice to meet you, Mrs. Femme Fatale, and then she does some kind of like flip and looks all cool, and then he looks all stupid. Like it's always like that. Like you know what the writing is going to be like.
The old writing used to be like, oh, you didn't realize she's a femme fatale, but she is a femme fatale, and then she does the things that like G.I. Joe does. You're like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. And now it's just like you have to be monologued to and be told, hey, I'm a femme fatale. You better treat me with some respect because I can own you, and because I'm a femme fatale, I'm a woman with empowerments. Like, that's basically it.
Did a robot write this?
Yeah, basically. Did ChatGPT write this? Because I feel like ChatGPT write this. And that's just, like, tied into a lot of millennial writing, where it's always, like, a self-insert, and they need to show people, I am good, Dad! No, you're not. No, you're not. That's cringe. But, no, I agree with that. But the ones I saw, like, I didn't really watch many femme fatale stuff, so I didn't really care much.
Mm-hmm.
But I did see, like, I used to watch like the older cartoon of Cartoon Networks where they come out and they're like cartoon whatever, Dexter's Lab and all that. And one of the things I did notice, and it didn't catch on until later on in life, why I liked Ed and Eddie a lot, was because I did a lot of stuff that I kind of relate to when I was a kid. That I used my imagination a lot, right? And a lot of the stuff like the kids did, same with the kids next door, was you saw a lot of stuff in terms of their imagination. Ed and Eddie was you saw them pretending things were, so you saw them actually, act out like this stuff was real, or you saw it through the eyes of people like in Kids Next Door that, these particular people were bad or evil and stuff. That's why they were the villains. But overall, they were just kids, Whereas there was other cartoons like Fairly Odd Parents was literally magic. Their godparents in the TV series was real.
Yeah. So it's not just was it Timmy?
Yeah.
To where he's like
just imagining
a normal kid imagining that
he had Fairly Odd Parents or anything like that. Yeah.
So they're actual real fairies.
Yeah. So
I guess like Dexter's Lab, he's actually a scientist, not just
he was an actual scientist.
A very smart kid pretending to be a scientist.
Yeah. Cow and Chicken wasn't kids pretending to be cows and chickens. It was actually And I didn't catch this until later when I'm like, why are all these cartoons samey? Because I would have them play in the background periodically, just what have you. And one day I just flipped to Cartoon Network and there was like Gumball and Craig of the Creek, and I can relate to Craig of the Creek a little bit because my adventures when I was a kid was very similar to Craig of the Creek, but they all had like the same approach.
Like it's like very grounded.
It was very grounded, but they were using their imagination the entire time. Imagination for all their adventures, right?
Oh, okay.
And I noticed a lot of common like a lot of cartoons use imagination as a way to excuse a lot of it, but they're like all school kids. They're all like kids that just have real lives, and they all pretend something's magical's happening, and it's not like there's not as
never
many.
Canonically happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, like there's stuff like that, right? And that's one of the things. Like, and it ties into like the life lessons monologue.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like at first, when we were kids, there was always like this weird like thrown together 40-second hashed thing. It was like, hey kids, don't do drugs. G.I. Joe told you not to. Thanks, G.I. Joe. Woo!
Well,
That's it, right?
It also brings you back to maybe they want stuff to be more realistic rather than like over the top and like actiony. Because I remember seeing what is it, Looney Tunes?
Mm-hmm.
Modern Looney Tunes was, oh my god awful and boring. I was in tears just watching.
I saw one episode once, and nothing happened the entire like 10 minutes it was in it. Like they were just talking the entire time. Like that was it. Like they were like, "Hey, Bugs, can I talk to you? Blah blah blah. Let's talk to Lola about this." And they go and they talk to. Like there's no whimsy or anything to it. Like it's really weird.
Yeah,
really, like it felt weird.
I saw like was it Bugs? Like he needed to go pay for his car. Or like his he was doing everyday life shit, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, like that is, you know what? That just tells me that a lot of writers, a lot of artists, and stuff like that are just stunted people now. They're just stunted.
Well,
like they do not have the air of like magic in their minds. Like concept artists that I see on Twitter have more creativity and more character to what they do than a lot of these people who are working professionally anymore. Because they just like, what if we just wrote about, because that's what they think about all the time, instead of like, what other wonders as a child did I have? They're like, I'm not a child anymore. Let's talk, like that's just, it feels like they're like, I'm making this for adults so they understand what we're dealing with. Like, shut up.
Well, that's the thing though. Like, your audience is smarter than you think.
And honestly, like,
especially kids too. Kids are a lot smarter than you think they are.
Dude, kids are sometimes smarter than most adults until you start dumbing them down.
Yeah.
Like, honestly. And the thing is, like, there was a psychology study many years ago that showed that if you talk to kids like an adult, they will have a higher, like, comprehension level than when you would talk to them as babies and with the baby talk and stuff. So you're just like, the kid will fundamentally become intellectually stunted, which probably explains a lot of how a lot of millennial writers write and have attitudes and throw tantrums online. Let's be real, that's probably because they get talked to like babies their entire damn life. But yeah, like that. And then life lessons. I gotta just come back into it. They always used to have life lessons. Now they have to tell you life lessons throughout the entire episode. Like everyone wants to be like a Steven Universe. It's very, very cringe. But outside that, what about like anything outside media? Is there anything that you've thought about? Like just like mechanical stuff or anything like that happened that you're like, I don't know why they keep adding that.
Cell phones, like they used to be so impressive, and like every time an iteration comes out, everyone's like, whoa, that's so cool. Now they're all like
all the same,
a piece of glass, like a flat piece of glass, and like I don't know, it's just even like when little things,
like they were trying to get it so thin that even Apple was like, we're gonna removing the headphone jack because it'll make it too fat. Shut up.
Just buy the AirPods. Did you know that the AirPods, they make the most money off of that too? By the way,
I believe it. Let's be real.
But no, it's just like it just, what is it? Whenever they come out with something new now, it's like incremental, and it doesn't wow you as much anymore.
Honestly, I feel like it's just because they're just selling you brand. It's just kind of like the way Nike shoes do it and stuff too. We have this new style, and it's really not. They just have the Nike swoosh even bigger on the sides of the shoe, and people are like, "Yo!" And no, it's not. It's not. No, absolutely not. I have one. It still goes back to video games. Motion controls.
Yeah.
Like, it was so huge in dude, it was so huge that it made the Wii save the gaming industry for a while. Like, it literally, like, honestly, that whole thing, the fact that the Wii, like, saved the gaming industry because it was on the verge of collapse. Not only that, it was very affordable, and it wasn't requiring anybody to buy HD TVs at the time when they were, like, stupid expensive, and it just saved everyone. But by the end of the Wii, nobody wants to see a single motion control game ever. But for some reason, every company has motion controls. They just have them. They don't use them. They just have them. They're just there. Like, what was it? PS4 even had it, and they were showing, like, you can use this for, what's its face? The, like, flying ship game and stuff. And I was like, nobody used it, though. And, like, even Nintendo is, like, the ones that did, like, at least I expect Nintendo to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Nintendo's like, no, we're going to keep sucking on that teat. Like, well, the milk's done, but we like that teat. And they add it, but they still don't even use it. Right?
Yeah, well, like, you could just map it to another button. So it's like, or if they do put it in, it feels very, very forced.
Yeah.
And you're just like, why can't I just push A to do it then? Mm-hmm. No, we want you to flick the controller.
Yeah, flick it, damn it. But yeah, no, is there any other ones you want to talk about at all?
Nah, it's...
Ew, motion controls.
There's
like,
no more glitter
I'm still over... Like, I still can't get over the fact that so many companies still have motion controls. Nobody uses them.
The glitter
or rumble packs,
gone.
dude. The
We're
glitter
old.
is absolutely gone. It's, like, faded. Like, it's like, oh, that is gross on the underside.
We're too old now. Right?
We are.
Back in my day, we had this feature, and it was really cool, and we liked it. Okay.
Dad, that's in everything right now. But no, I'm like to go ahead. Let's go ahead and wrap that up. And like to thank you guys all for listening in as always. And of course, if you like our content, feel free to like, subscribe, and share. And as always,
we will see you on the other side.
Hey everyone, this is Paraka.
And Ghost.
I would like to say thank you for listening to our podcast.
If you like our content, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe and share our video with your friends.
You can also follow and support us on other social media such as Minds and Rumble. Links in the description below.